Welcome back, everybody, to the Anti-Stall Racing IMSA series. It's round 3 today of season 7, and for the first time in the series history, we're racing at Zandvoort. iRacing's recently updated Zandvoort to the new track layout post F1's return to the Netherlands. I'm joined today by Ule. What excites you around this track? It's a really, really complex track. So what's your favourite section and what are you looking forward to today?
Yeah, George has a lot of favorite sections. I mean, the banking towards the end, so I think it's going to be interesting. The first couple of corners, of course, the corner names itself is also quite interesting. Try not to pronounce too many, but yeah, last time we had a track Suzuka that's pretty difficult to overtake on. I'm going to assume it's going to be something along the lines of Suzuka. Not that I've driven many GT3s around Zandvoort, but it's a quite narrow track and it's very technical at places. So not a lot of overtaking opportunities, but the drivers also have to keep the tongue in the mouth and really try and not make too many mistakes, otherwise you just end up going into the sand.
Yeah, really, really complex, especially those banked corners, and like you said, no runoff. It's pretty much straight to the band. We've got a couple of drivers. A lot of drivers, all of our GT3 field out on track at the moment. We're expecting quite a few cars in GT3. A couple of them have switched to driving the GTP. Liam de Kock and a couple of other drivers have made that switch, but we've still got a very healthy field in GT3. Everybody on their outlaps now, apart from Alex Ott and Adam Jarvis, are the first two to have gone through Sector 1. Marnix Heister has gone through Turn 1 and Turn 2 as well and crossed the first timing line. 3 sectors here using the F1 layout. So we'll get a good baseline from Alex Ott, Adam Jarvis. Yannick Girards has gone even quicker than everybody else in Sector 1 by a healthy margin. Looks like he might have had a toe down into Turn 1 though. Is Alex that we're following now. Going through Turn 12, Turn 13, and into that really, really steep banking section. We'll follow through on the gyro here so you can see the lean. Really, really right up to the wall. Anybody who's driven an oval will know how to take that section very well. And he crosses the line to 1:33.588, and that's a benchmark. Adam Jarvis can't quite get there. Ignis got a lot closer, within a 10th of a second. Matteo Batali not able to match him. So Alex Ott, really, really impressive lap, considering he was the first driver to set a time as well. Daniel Morphy can't get close either. Paolo Antonori slots down a little bit further. Yannick Girards goes to the top though with a 1:33.211, nearly 4/10 clear of the previous fastest time. So impressive lap time from him there. A couple of other drivers crossing the line now to try and promote themselves into that gap. Dave Van Eck is going to be next across the line in his home race, and nope, bails out of a lap before he crosses the line, so clearly not happy with that. He's on board now with Yannick Girards, who is on provisional pole at the moment, but has set the fastest Sector 1 again this time, and he's really pushing, gaining a lot on the cars in front in the braking zone. He'll be getting a nice toe through Sector 1 by being this close to those cars as well, and the nature of this circuit and the banking allowing him to take different approaches to some of these corners. Getting a mega toe here down the back straight into the turn 11-12 chicane. It is a chicane, it's quite a big chicane. And he's backed out of it. So purple Sector 1, slightly slower Sector 2, but still a very good Sector 2, but he thinks better to reset and go again. Is Senna Bockhoven looking to set a lap for the first time in this session. A 1:34.3, sorry, moves him up to P10. Sven Elmers moves up one spot. Go back to P10 where he was before Try to move back up to P11.
It's a little early to tell here 5 minutes into the qualifying session, but currently there's a big gap between P15 and P1, almost 3 seconds separating them. I know there's a difference in the Pro and the AM drivers, but I believe they were significantly close on Breca to Suzuka. But I'm also thinking, of course, there's going to be a bit of traffic with the GTP, but with lap times like this in qualifying session, you could imagine that maybe you'll start to get some of your own traffic as well. It's going to play into the race. It's also quite interesting to see. We can see it here in turn 9, turn 10. See the different lines that all of the guys take. Also because of the nature of the track, it's so wide there that it's not just one line as it is here in the final couple of corners where it's in out right. But turn 9 and turn 10 so far out. Do you want to take it a bit more narrow? Do you want to take it a bit further out and then carry more speed? What's the ideal line? Just have to wait and see. Still 9 minutes left of the qualifying session. Yep.
Antonio Vitozzi moves himself up to P3. We are going to see some drivers trying different lines like you just spoke about. There's a lot of different ways to attack some of these corners, and we can see it here with Vitozzi staying quite high all the way through the banked turn 3, but there are different ways to approach that. You can apex a corner like a usual corner, but you can go high as well. Different opportunities. We'll see drivers trying different things. It will vary depending on grip level as well. Just had a moment, but Carlos Villarejo, and there was a spin.
Yeah.
Quite sure what happened there. If you can take a look, it's this Sven Elmers who's going to go into the back of the... Just avoid him. I think he doesn't quite make contact, but spins out in trying to avoid that contact. So that might be reviewed by race control, but we've not seen any messages come up yet to suggest that it is being reviewed. Difficult
to tell there from the angle if he hits it or not, but if he does something to try and avoid the contact and then spins out. So yeah, under investigation currently. Yeah, see what race control makes of that.
Vitozzi's done one lap so far. That put him up to P3, and he's improved in Sector 1 and improved in Sector 2. But Yannick Girard is still far quicker in Sector 1, but losing out a little bit in Sector 2. Mark Lopez has just gone to P9 with a... Sorry, no, he's just on the faster Sector 3 on his out lap. As Vitozzi moves back up into P3 after just being deposed by Adam Jarvis, who's only 5 thousandths off the back of him. Ted Jan Bloemen with a big move up to P7. One to watch is definitely going to be Ignis. He's got a good Sector 1 here. We've seen some good pace from him recently. A new livery on this car, actually, for this week. See what he can do. It's yellow, although my display is showing green, so not quite sure what's happened there to cause that. Yannick Girard's had a purple, and into the gravel there for Ignis. Yannick Girard's had a purple Sector 3 on his previous run, but couldn't beat his best lap.
Someone else to look for, current P3 and P5. The overall standings, it is P2 and P3 in the championship for the GT3 Pro. Current P1 Oriol Folk is not participating today. It looks like Søren can't see him on the timing table, so we're gonna see a lead change in the GT3 Pro class today. Almost no matter what, there's 9 points separating P2 and P1, as you can see in on the InterStoreRacing.com website. Try and follow the championship standings there if you'd like, but yeah, I'm expecting somebody else to go into P1. There is a drop round that we have to calculate in, so it's not because Oriol Folks is just going to be 300 points behind either Ignis or Antonio or maybe Daniel Murphy. That's also up in the points.
Yannick Girard goes and improves his lap time somehow with 3 yellow sectors. So 3 yellow sectors and improves his lap time. I think he was fractionally quicker in each of those sectors, and for some reason iRacing thought he was slower, but goes and improves that lead at the front, which he'll be happy about. Ted Jan Bloemen goes up to P5 and matches Adam Jarvis's time with identical laps for those two. Adam Jarvis obviously setting it before Blowman did. Van Elmers improves a little bit, P13 at the moment. It's about 4 minutes left on this session. Still plenty of time to get another run or 2 in if you nail the timing. Carlos Villarejo moves up to P15 there.
We also did Jan Blowman, that's P2 in the GT3 AM Championship. So pretty good qualifying performance by him as well. Less than half a second away from overall pole position. That's a pretty solid performance. We're not done yet. Still 4 minutes left plus a lap. So everything can still change, but really close. It is starting to tighten a little bit here, and in the top 12, everybody within a second. A little bit more gap as we look further down the timing tables. Antonio Vitosi, I think we're on board here with now. He has green sector, he has a purple sector, he's P3. What is he going to be if when he crosses the line? Let's try and see, there's another green one. But is it good enough? It's good enough for P2. Just shy of 2/10 away from P1 Yannick Gerards, but really good lap time from Antonio Vitosi. That's just looking to take away P1 from Julio Fultz in the overall championship, and is looking to try and distance himself as well from Ignace Mishashevsky, that is currently not having the best qualifying session that we've seen from him. 3/10 behind Antonio as it stands right now.
Paolo Antonori will be looking to improve on his current position, sat down in 16th. He'll be hoping for a little bit more. Green in sector 1, but yellow in sector 2, but not a bad sector 2 time. He can definitely claw his way back a little bit. We say he's off the pace, it's 1.4 seconds, but down in 16th place. Maybe expecting to be a little further down off that top 13, covered by less than a second. No margin for error here today at Zandvoort. Can Antonori move himself up the grid in what I believe will be his last attempt, unless he goes for another consecutive lap? And he does move up to P15. I think that will be day over with 13 minutes on the clock. So 1 minute left in this session until the checkered flag for the GT3 runners.
He really has to get out now, right? I think a minute and 50 seconds. Do you think it's going to be able to make it around if you also want to preserve his tires a little bit?
I think it's
going to be a bit tight, I think.
Difficult. It's about a minute 30 on a fine lap, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly.
Struggle. Alex Ott does improve marginally, but doesn't move up the board. Yeah. Talking about improvements, a lot of people here with yellow sectors. Of course, if you see Matteo Limway with the green one, but he's a bit further down, so it's expected for him to improve just a little bit on his previous quali ones. I think we know Matteo that he's not that far off the pace. See, is it Matteo that we are on board here with this? I know it is, yeah. Another green sector. Improves, doesn't improve on the order. Huge improvement from his other time. Yeah, but it's still 2.2 seconds. He'll be happy with that. We'll have wanted a bit more. Quarter of a donut happy. Yeah, the McLarens look to be struggling a little bit. I know Ignace and Matteo are a little bit further up the order, but we'd normally expect them to be right at the sharp end. And then the rest of them a little bit further down the order as the GTPs start to queue up in the pit lane. There aren't many people out on track. Adam Jarvis is one of them. It'd be interesting to see if he can find enough time to move ahead of Alex Ott. It would be impressive. Tedjan Blowman is not on track anymore, so he does have that P4 secured. And he bails out to the pit lane, so he knew he wasn't going to improve. Matteo Batali improves and stays in P8. We have 2 cars left on track. That's the 26 of Dave Van Eck and the 14 of... I can't find it on my list. Chris Van Rooyen. So both of these drivers towards the back of the pack, but they will be looking to improve. It is all yellow sectors though, so I'm very surprised if we saw an improvement from either of these drivers. is an improvement for both of them, in fact, but move them up the order. So your GTP field now queuing to get out of the pit lane. Liam de Kock in his first race in GTP is leading that order. There's a sneaky Cadillac trying to jump the queue a little bit on the outside lane there in the pit lane. That's a green flag from race control. So the field pull out. Liam de Kock, interestingly, driving the BMW. We've only seen Jeffrey Ross driving that so far this season. Definitely a challenging car, but he did have pace in practice. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out on his race debut.
What are you thinking here, George? What do you think is going to be the better car around this track? You've seen the Acura has dropped in participation compared to pretty much all the other season.
The Acura would be best around this kind of track, but
so now it's the Cadillac, but the Cadillac isn't really known for having the greatest turning abilities.
No, the Cadillac definitely will struggle in the agile bits of this track, which unfortunately make up quite a lot of it.
So we're putting our money on the Porsche.
Yeah, the Porsche and the BMW, I think, have a stronger front end than the Cadillac does.
Also, not a lot of straights here, isn't there? You see how slow we're going. Of course, it is a slow outlap that we're on. It's a really slow outlap that we're on for Liam de Kock,
yeah,
but a lot of slower corners around this track as well. So the Cadillac can't really use its V8 motor around this track.
So we'll follow.
As we see, the only place that we can really see it here, yeah, Albert Cream.
Follow Albert Cream round at his home race debut in the IMSA series. Takes that wider line that we talked about there, carrying a lot of speed, but it is a slightly longer route. Will help you keep the momentum up for this really tricky section here into Shavlak corner. Now breaking down and this really tricky section. It's kind of this corner here really difficult. You kind of want to get on the throttle, but you can't because it doubles back on itself a little bit into turn 10, and you've got to nail this exit, and he gets a handful of oversteer on the exit but manages it quite well. Liam de Kock in that BMW has gone purple in sector 1, but that's now been stolen by Jeffrey Ross in the BMW. Albert Preem pretty quick in the second sector, half a second up on Emre, and Albert Preem still one of the quickest drivers in sector 1, so he's definitely in this, and the Cadillac not too far off the pace, using all of the runoff there at Ari Luyendijk corner, and now he's got to run down to the start finish line and set the benchmark time in the 697 car, and that time is going to be a 1:21.364. I think that's going to be beaten by Jeffrey Ross though, who is purple in sector 1 and 2. We're going to see a few more people come across the start finish line. Liam de Kock goes to P2, and there are more of these to come. Anto Avale, a driver who's been quick in the past, goes up to P2. Jeffrey Ross, what can he do?
His first purple sector has been taken away from him, but it's pole position by half a second compared to Albert Preem that had it before. I mean, not a long way into the qualifying session, of course, only just started, but that's a lot of time, half a second for the other drivers to find.
Yeah, so
I think the Cadillac is struggling a little bit. I don't know if you noticed it, George, but coming, of course, 7th gear down the main straight, but apart from that, we only really go up to 6th gear coming up towards turn 9. So it is struggling a lot on the straights, the Cadillac trying to push all of its power down.
Yeah, Albert Preem did set a purple sector 1 on his second attempt. Remember, these cars can sometimes take a lap or so to get the tyres up to temperature, but that was beaten once again by Jeffrey Ross. But Jeffrey Ross has had a moment. We'll watch Albert Preem come across the line. It's a purple sector 3, and it moves him back to pole position by 111 thousandths of a second. Let's take a look at what happened to Jeffrey Ross. So purple sector 1 loses it in turn 7. Just that's what we talked about. That corner being really difficult. You want to get on the power sooner, but you've got to get so much rotation in the car. And I believe Jeffrey Ross has carried on. Avale's just had a bit of a moment though as well. Jeffrey Ross has carried on.
Ik ga nog 1 lap doen, denk ik. Kijk hoe de banden zijn.
Jeffrey Ross didn't want to lose that tyre temperature. Albert Preem, I think that black flag, by the way, for Juan Avale was probably for spinning his wheels up a bit too much in the bits. Ross is on the radio asking something. Quite sure what that was. So Albert Preem did go purple in sector 1, but that's been beaten by Liam de Kock, who's gone even quicker in sector 1. So we've got 3 Dutchmen at the front right now, and Liam de Kock looks set to join the battle. Albert Preem yellow in sector 2, so maybe not the lap of improvement he was looking for. The black flag for Quinton the Donk as well. Not sure what that was for. Jeffrey Ross has now gone purple once again in sector 1. So these guys really aren't going to give it up today. Liam de Kock with a nice toe here down to the start-finish line as well. That's going to help him out. I think that might move him up to the front, or at least towards it, up to P2. Less than a tenth off Albert Preem's time. He'll be really happy with that. Ross is yellow in sector 2, but 2 tenths quicker than the leader managed, and a tenth quicker than Liam de Kock managed on that lap. So this could easily move him up to provisional pole. He carries a lot of speed through turn 13. Running the banking nicely. Now it's just a short run down to the line. He's got a bit of a toe as well. Not as much as his rival had. And that lap time is not going to move him up to the start. It's going to increase his lap time to within a tenth of the leader and only 200ths off of what Liam de Kock managed. So he'll be wanting to go again. They've still got 7.5 minutes left in this session to cross a line. So we're definitely going to see some improvements from some of these guys. Carlos Ponce is really struggling for pace today. Ule 28.5 he's just done in the first sector, and that's his personal best. So he really needs to try and find a bit more time.
Yeah, but see how much they all improved. Yeah, I said Albert Preem had to find a lot of lap time when Liam de Kock improved on his first lap time by half a second, and then he goes out and finds 6/10. I think we are far from done here. Trying to see, but it looks like the BMW just has a little bit of edge in all of the corners, and then the Cadillac is just a Cadillac in the straight. Yeah, but it's interesting to see how it turns out. And still, 2 BMWs within a tenth of P1, really far out right there for Carlos Ponce. It's gonna hurt his lap time a lot. So he does have 2 green sectors. It gets his 3rd green sector as well, even with a little bit of off track there. Same on the tires. Not enough to really improve, was it? Didn't see an improvement on the timing.
Gutierrez on the radio asking for blue flags. I think he's suggesting that Jeffrey Ross didn't slow down as much as he should have done. Is that Jeffrey Ross, or is that Liam de Kock in front actually? Well, it's one of the BMW drivers, I believe that's Liam de Kock. In fact, Quinton Bedonk with a purple sector over there. Jeffrey Ross has just had a bit of a moment going through the banking. You can see the dust trails there, but let's follow Quinton. We've not really seen him so far today. A bit of a force in season 1, in season 6 last season, struggling a little bit with the Porsche this season. Not quite as good as it's been in previous years. So let's see what he can do.
Really narrow line he's taking through the final corner. He's not opening it up as we see some of the other guys are doing. He's just keeping it all down low. Interesting to see if that helps him in the final corner. I can't really see the lap times, or the sector times, unfortunately.
Both Liam
and Gutierrez is a little bit unhappy with something.
Yeah, both Liam and Albert Preem unable to improve, but I think that's because they're on a bit more of a tyre warming lap. And Liam's backed off completely here to try and get a good run down to turn 1.
See here how one of the BMWs is opening it up a lot more than Quinton was before. But Quinton is still P4, so it's a good lap time that he's putting down.
Well, it was looking good to
improve. In fact, it's good lap times they're all putting down. P7 still within a second of P1, and then P8 and P9 a bit further down the order. especially in terms of lap times.
Liam de Kock improving there as well, so that's what he'll want to see. Really good from that driver out on his
Far out
debut.
right there. Albert Cream. Liam de Kock on a good lap. Has his purple sector taken away from him. Remember that he doesn't have to find that much time. See how far behind he is. So I think he's going to be able to improve a little bit here. Just 600ths of a second that he has to find. His manufacturer teammate Jeffrey Ross is going purple in turn 1. I see Liam de Kock. It's a yellow one at the end, but it's enough for pole position. Goes pole 400th of a second in front of Albert Preem, so it's not a lot of lap time, but it's enough for P1. Really far out right here again for Liam. Jeffrey Ross, sorry, purple sector and the yellow sector. What about the final one? He's gonna cross the line here. It's green. He's got all the colors and he's got pole position by 10th. Really good lap time from Jeffrey Ross here. Improves significantly. Gonna put Albert Preem under a bit of pressure. He did find a lot of lap time before, but he's gonna have to find even more now.
A moment here for Albert Preem at Tarzan as well as he goes straight on. I think he'll have one more chance to get to the line. I think he's returned to the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. No, he didn't. He's carried on to try and keep that tyre temp and go once more to try and improve.
Looked a little bit like he had some oversteer that he corrected and just went straight. As we said, the runoff is not very forgiving here around Zandvoort.
So we've got 4 Dutchmen fighting it out for pole in Zandvoort. 2-minute warning there from race control. Lap time is about 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's what pole is at the moment. So it'll be Vissen once more for the drivers that are out on track. And anybody in pit lane will still just about have time to get around if they send it. Albert Preem has improved on his personal best in Sector 1. We'll probably want to try and find a little bit more the rest of the lap if he wants to improve. Right to the front. It's a little bit loose there. Cadillac really struggling in these medium speed corners.
Combination of understeering all the way through the corner and then going a little too early on the throttle and then oversteering out of it. It was very fun. And as you see here, Albert Preem oversteering through turn number, what is that, turn 12. That's gonna hurt his lap time a lot, but he has a minute left to cross the line and to try and go for another lap. See how far out he goes here in the final corner to just try and gain as much top speed down the main straight as he possibly can. He's gonna need it in this Cadillac.
Definitely not an improvement. I think he'll be going for it on this lap rather than that previous lap. This will be his last chance because the checkered flag will fall in about half a minute. He'll be on the wrong side of the circuit to get another lap in. Alvaro Gutierrez has improved in Sector 1 with a personal best as well. A little bit off some of the other cars, but it's much closer than he's been so far this session. Not an improvement in Sector 1 for Albert Preem or Liam de Kock just behind him, but they're both decent sectors. Alvaro Gutierrez has a purple final sector, so either he got a very nice toe or there's big improvements to be found at that part of the lap.
It was Subaru that got a purple sector.
Yes.
Just to give him a little bit of credit there, sorry. Not enough to improve his lap time, but always cool to have a purple sector. Alvaro Gutierrez is also going faster personally. Closes the gap a little bit to Jan Sovalet, but unfortunately not enough to
The Kock
100th second shy of P6. And here, big oversteer into this penultimate corner for Albert Preem. That's gonna put an end to his qualifying session. He's gonna settle for P3 as it stands right now. Hope that nobody behind him is gonna improve. Doesn't look like anybody else is out on track.
I think that's it for this session. Albert
Yeah,
Preem and
quiet, yeah.
Liam de Kock were both unable to improve in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Then I think Liam didn't finish a lap, returned to pit lane, and obviously we saw Albert Preem have that moment. So clearly, both struggling to find lap time at the end of that session, as were most cars. Possibly didn't have the tyre temperature, and maybe the track's got a little bit warmer as well, potentially. Not quite sure what sim time we're at. Back to Cantu, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we shouldn't expect it to get much hotter than it already is.
One, two,
That's
for Pilotti. Not too bad.
A little bit of radio from the cock.
Just pointing out the 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Dutch drivers in GTP.
Not too shabby. No, but we did call it a little bit, didn't we, George? BMW's P1-2, then Albert Preem. A little bit of a surprise. Not that Albert Preem is a surprise himself. He's one of the faster drivers that we have. And then Christopher Duncan in his Porsche. P4. So only one Cadillac has gotten into top 3 right now. But this does show that the BMW just have a teeny tiny bit of edge, but it's not a lot. 1.5 tenths away from pole position for Albert Preem. So if he can keep it together with his race pace, then I think he's going to be in contention for a race win today.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to see the BMW back competing at the front. It kind of got forgotten about once we got other GTPs into iRacing. So really nice to see it back and competing. It's a shame the Acura doesn't seem to be competitive as well as it has been this season. So you didn't quite like the domination that it had, but good to see. It was good to see. It's good to see the BMW back. Now we just want all 4 cars able to compete at the front.
Good to see something else than just one manufacturer running away all the time.
All right, let's take a look at the qualifying results. Yannick Gerards, who is from the, I believe iRacing calls it the Benelux region. I'm not quite sure if he's Dutch or not, but he's on pole in GT3 in that 007 car. Then Antonio Vitozzi in P2, Alex Ott in P3 for the Dutch driver, Adam Jarvis P4, Ted-Jan Bloemen, who set an identical lap time to Adam Jarvis, but a couple of minutes later is in P5. Marnix Heister in his home race is in P6, followed by Ignis, who struggled a little bit in the McLaren today. He wasn't the only one. It seems to not quite be working as well around here as some of the others. I don't know if that's potentially a setup thing as well, with the McLaren being brand new. Matteo Ubertali in P8, Daniel Morphy P9, Roman Dubert in P10. Mark Lopez in P11, Sven Elmers in P12, Dave Van Veen at his home race in P13, Senna Bockhoven P14, Paolo Antonori in P15, Jose Carlos Villarejo in P16, Dave Van Eck P17, Chris Van Rooyen in P18, Matteo Lemery P19, and that is your full field. Obviously the points are decided by your finishing position in the AM and Pro class qualifying rather than your overall position, but still important to see where the grid is going to shake up, and if you want to see points from the previous round, you can catch them all on our website.
Right, everyone, here is your weekly reminder that the race does not start on the green flag. The race will start when your class leader goes in the start zone, as indicated in the PDF. And I asked the GT3 pole sitter, which this week is Yannick, congratulations, to leave somewhere between a 10 and 20 second gap between yourself and the back of the hypercar field, very approximately, and to maintain a constant speed under the safety car until under the formation lap, until you reach first up. Aside from that, I wish everyone a good race and have fun.
Yeah, it was just our race director with his weekly reminder. to the field. Jeffrey Ross has come home in P1 for that 1-2-3-4 for the Dutch drivers. Liam de Kock in P2, both those Velocity Racing drivers. So clearly that BMW that they're both driving working well. Albert Preem in P3, Quinton Verdonk in P4, Eloy Caballero in P5, Juanto Avale P6, Alvaro Gutierrez P7, Emre Kamaldar P8 and Carlos Ponce in P9.
Tight field here. Look at the lap time. We're gonna have some great racing, top 3 at least, and then possibly also some good competition. I'm gonna put Quinton Verdonk in the race as well. So top 4 is gonna be really tight, and I think it's gonna be a great fight as well for P5. Krebno currently leading that battle really good. Gonna see. It's not always a qualified pace. Converts into good race pace.
Yeah, definitely we could see different cars play well in the race. We've got that big toe down to turn 1 as well, all the way from turn 13 essentially, so we can definitely get some overtaking and some nice close battles, which will keep some of the Cadillac drivers in play, especially with that engine power. They'll be able to really close up on the straights.
I also think tire management is going to play a larger role here in this race than just outright race pace is going to do. Because if you can go fast with 10 laps, but you're completely dead tired for the rest of your stint, then of course that's not really gonna help you, and somebody else is gonna be able to close the gap down. Gonna try and see a little bit from the oversee here from Ovale, but keeps it away. Also nice to get a little preview of how traffic is gonna be. It's a really tight track, especially in these last couple of sectors here.
Yeah, worth pointing out as well to everybody that's not in the Discord server, but this is essentially replacing what we've done the last few seasons where we've run a street track. We ran, not Chicago, what's it called? We ran Belle Isle last season, and the season
Detroit.
before that, Belle Isle, Detroit, and the previous season we ran Long Beach, and we kind of didn't want to go back to either of those tracks, but we still wanted to have that tight, twisty, no proper runoff kind of excitement that you get from a street track, and we hadn't run Zandvoort before. We thought it'd be a great opportunity to run it in place of the regular street track. We have got a shortened warm-up lap this race as well, so we're running from the end of the back straight in Hans Ernst corner, so that's pit corner 9 for anybody that's more familiar with the numbers. Those two BMWs starting on the front row together, but I think we'll see them playing it careful into turn 1's a big opportunity to score points for both of them, especially with Liam de Kock only joining the series after 2 races, so he's essentially already used his drop round and a whole race of no points being scored at all, so he'll be looking to improve up the order as they go away. And we had a couple of problems with the pacing in the GT3 field last season, so there's been an additional directive given to that field for how to maintain the pace, but we're not racing in the dark like we were last time out, and it should be a little bit easier to get everyone going this season. So the pulsar to Jeffrey Ross is going to manage the field to the green. Really big opportunities for slipstreaming here, so he'll want to go as late as possible in the start zone. See the start zone if you really want to on the website, but it isn't until we get on the straight, so he won't have an opportunity to go early. That's the same case for the GT3 field. GT3s are now moving as well to manage that gap to the leaders nicely. They're sat about 28 seconds back at the moment, but Race Control will be more than happy with that, I'm sure. So Jeffrey Ross here getting ready to take the field to green, and the two teammates can work together here, both being on the front row. They can time the start well, and Jeffrey Ross has gone, and well, his teammate didn't really get the jump that we expected. Liam de Kock has dropped back a little bit. Albert Preem's on the inside of Quinton Verdonk into turn 1. So it's still a 1-2-3 and nearly 4 for Dutch as Liam de Kock is shuffled out by Eli Caballero a little bit further back. They're coming now into turn 3, the banked corner. We've got a little bit of racing further back in the pack. Liam de Kock taking that alternative line to try and jump back past Eloy Caballero. And they're going to be fighting all the way down. Let's quickly jump to the GT3 field. Yannick Gerard's leading nicely into turn 1. A little bit of Argy further back. But most of them made it through nicely. Liam de Kock and Eloy Caballero have made contact in the GTP field, but they are moving, so it won't impact this field, and they're going to follow it through nicely. And that's Antonio Vitozzi shuffling Alex Ott down the order. We see that's Ignas Vincerevsky's diving down a little bit lower to take that alternative line. Alex Ott's not happy about what happened. That's Ignas round. That's Ignas round. Not sure what happened there. Everyone avoids him nicely, though. So all's well for every other car in the field. Someone will have damage, I'm sure. Senna Bockhoven is now round as well. Trying to get you an image of that. There he is, off in the track. So that's 2 cars from that team off. And not quite sure who that contact was with, but that's under investigation now. A lot of different contacts under investigation from race control on lap 1. So we'll try and get you the best information on that. Jeffrey Ross has maintained the lead in the GTP field, but already quite a big field spread in this class, probably due to that incident between the 2 GTPs that we saw. We're trying to find that now, and I believe this is what happened between Liam de Kock. It was just after we disappeared, it looks like, going into turn 6. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I'll take one more look at it.
A bit of door banging as they go into the apex.
Oh. Tell you what,
can't really turn at that point.
it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse, given where it was on the track. They both seem to have gotten away with it. The damage. Liam de Kock will be really disappointed with that out. And Liam de Kock is off again, and he's retired. He's out in the pit lane.
Oh, he's
that car is completely destroyed.
Camero's not happy neither.
We'll take another look at some of the other incidents, and then we'll see what happened to those drivers. It's what happened to Ignas. So on that inside line, and he comes back up and he's going to get turned around. So maybe race control will think he shouldn't have come in front of the other car. He's got damage to the front end, but he has carried on. He might want to come in and repair that, because it'll be costing him a lot of time, especially whilst he's not in that tow. This is what happened to Senna Bockhoven. Oh no, was it with his teammate? Really hope not. And it was. He got loose on the grass, came across the front of his teammate, turned around, and there will definitely be significant damage on that car. This is what happened to Carlos Villarejo. I think this was the same incident. No, it wasn't. No, he went off the track in the aftermath,
Yeah, so you just got to...
Already seen this one. So this is what happened to Liam de Kock the second time, was it?
Yeah, so this is where it's not going to be as lucky. Go straight across to turn 12.
Interesting. Something else must go wrong about a little bit further down the line. So we're back now in turn 5. Oh, on the grass.
Yeah, snappy oversteer and then corrects it into the wall.
Just take one more look at that from the onboard. Liam de Kock, I think he's just going to catch the grass. Oh, it unsettles it on the curb a little bit, but...
Yeah, I think it's a curve on the inside there. Unsettles the rear just a little bit, and then it's... Yeah, then it's the street circuit effect that you talked about. Not a lot of runoff to deal with, and then yeah, everything goes from bad to worse for Liam de Kock. I think he's gonna park it for good now. He's all the way down into 9th after qualifying.
He's cleared his meatball. He's cleared his meatball.
Oh,
so yeah. He's gonna go.
He's gonna come out again.
Back out. I think he's only 1 lap down to the other cars. So he'll be hoping for recovery. He was pretty quick. He can try and make it back up on pace. He can maybe make the race with 1 more pit stop if he topped up. It'd be a big fuel save, but definitely a strategy he could consider. Just saw Emre Kamaldar past for position there. Dave Van Veen has just had an incident that we've missed as well, and that's not a very helpful angle. Not sure what happened here. Gonna loop it around on the same.
9 into turn 10.
Oh yeah.
just uses it on an entry.
And Chris
Tries
Van
to rotate it a bit too
Rooyen.
much, and then
Left up there.
Oh no. No. Oh, no, not what I thought it was going to be. All on his own. Yeah. Guess, and so, no. It looked like he just got...
a replica incident.
And Alvaro Gutierrez, and then we are all catched up. That's a 5-second time penalty to Ruin for an incident in the GT3 field, I believe. And Alvaro does the same thing after seeing the McLaren parked in front of him. That's unfortunate. Liam de Kock has entered pit lane,
Tiny bit of
I believe. Or a black flag, so he's sped in a pit lane, it looks like. When he was pulling out the previous time. So he'll be kicking himself for that. So that'll be for speeding in the pit lane. Moment for Ignis again. Not had much time to watch any racing yet. Let's take a look what happened. Oh no. With the GTP field coming through, it looks like, is there going to be contact? Really hope not.
Is it the same GT3 that he had the first incident with? That's
Oh no. Oh, and
McLaren that
yeah.
pushes him into the apex, and then
Sorry, Dave.
he spun around. That's up to race control to try and give a verdict on that one. Don't think it was entirely Ignis' fault, but it's not for us to decide.
So the GTP's
Now
catching
it
this
comes
field
off the
very
traffic.
quickly, and we're getting that street circuit effect. There's not much room for them to make their way past. That's the leader, Albert Preem, you're seeing just off screen, trying to file his way through. He'll be trying to make his way through as quickly as possible. Jeffrey Ross will be getting extremely frustrated here. He's losing a lot of time to Albert Preem. He would have hoped to gain from the traffic, but it's really not helped him out so far.
So you've given just go around the outside there. That's a very difficult corner to do that in. All of these corners are going to be quite gnarly if you don't know what you're doing. Oh, no, it doesn't over-rotate. Look like he was going to spin a little bit there. Yeah. No, 1.7 second gap up to Albert Preem already. That's it's just traffic. That's not really helping him at all. That is also shows at a circuit like this.
Not sure that we saw this incident, but there was a 4X here. Yeah, there was that. Okay.
Tries to get around.
Under investigation.
So taking him off with him. That's a 7-second gap down, so if he's lucky, it's only going to be a 5-second that he gets, and then he still have 2 seconds to play around with. I see as we follow here, it's Blumen leading the AM field.
He is, and he's in the lead by quite a lot for the nature of having about 4 pro cars sat behind him. Mark Lopez is into the pit lane. I believe this is one of the drivers who he was involved in that instance. He's probably got a bit of damage.
Yeah,
he can make it to the end. Yeah, he can make it to the end here. So it's a smart call there to come into the pit now, do repairs, and then drive a bit of a recovery race. Ignis also in the pit. I believe that'll be to repair the damage he's had from both incidents. See the fast repair working well there, just fueling up the car, and then he'll be back out on track. We're pointing out Jeffrey Ross has had the fastest lap of the race to Albert Preem. I don't think we saw how Albert got the lead actually. It's happened to Mark Lopez. Oh no.
Black flag at the same time.
I believe he hadn't. Oh, I don't know what's happened there.
Beaten pit lane?
Yeah, it looks like, and then he's pulling over, and yeah, that'll be it for him, I think.
Yeah.
Just trying to find where the lead was taken. Go back to live images though of that battle for the lead, because it's not over yet. Jeffrey Ross will be looking to try and move back up the order a little bit. It's not, Albert Preem is pulling away at the moment, so Cadillac working well in race trim, but maybe the BMW will come back alive a little bit when the fuel burns down.
Jeffrey Ross. You can see Christopher Dunk in his rearview mirrors. Still keeping the BMW in the right correct direction. Sorry, so he's doing everything correct. He's just losing a little bit of time in pretty much all corners. It looks like to Albert Preem that has found something that he didn't have in qualifying.
This is where Albert Preem took the lead, using the traffic really well here. Matteo catching Jeffrey Ross off guard a little bit there and flies around the outside.
Yeah, we know he gets a huge gap here to begin with, and then Jeffrey Ross is going to catch some traffic at very unfortunate places at the same time. So I think that's the initial 1.5 second gap that we saw. It's just another second he's lost again. Could also just be down to traffic. It is a lot of lap time that it's just being thrown away. Saw that he's not that slow. Another incident that's also been reviewed. So apart from that one where there was a little bit of a door bang between different cars, it's been relatively clean, I'd say. It's very small incidents and personal mistakes that of course trouble from here on, but very clean, especially with the passing from the GT piece. Good to see. You can almost get at the same track.
Leander Kopp making his way through the GT3 field at the moment to try and get back onto the same lap as the leaders. It is going to be difficult. He's a lap down going through turn 8 and turn 9 at the moment, and the leader is going through turn 1, so I think he needs to pass the leader to get back on the lead lap, so that will be really difficult. But like I said, I think he will only need one more pit stop to make it to the end if he plays this smartly, but there's a lot to think about in the moment. Moment for Avale, which has allowed Gutierrez past. He's going to go deep into turn 1, and his teammate slides through.
Both of them. Very lucky not to be caught by the grass. Goes into the track. It's a bit faster. Could easily just end up going straight in the grass and the sandy sections and lose even more lap time than Novara did. Quentin Fedok gets very close to Jeffrey Ross now. It's down to 7/10 between the two. It's of course battle for second place that we are watching here. I did rule him out a little bit in the beginning, but he's proven himself and shown that he got the race pace that's required to try and battle with the BMWs. Probably see how much so is gonna give him there. Keeps it very narrow still through the final corner. It's a very interesting line compared to the others, but seems to be working for him, just for now. Just a little bit here. Straight, it looks like the Porsche doesn't have the top speed or acceleration out of the final corner that the BMW and the Cadillac has. Gains here in the small narrow sections.
Morpy's feeling a little bit held up now behind Jan Bloman. He's trying to find his way back past, because at the moment it's costing him a lot of time to guys like Jarvis up front. If he could just get through, he could maybe get on the attack a little bit more, but he's struggling to find an opportunity to overtake. So crucially for Ignis as well, he stayed on the lead lap after those two incidents he's had, but he's running about 40 seconds off the back of the next car and a little bit more off the overall lead, so he'll be hoping to improve a bit more.
quite impressive that Ignis haven't been lapped yet, compared to all the unfortunate luck that he's had here in the first 2-3 laps. So only 40 seconds behind P7. That's of course in the GT3 Pro class. He's gonna have some amps to deal with if he wants to get up behind Omar Bell again.
Alvaro making his way through the back running cars in the GT3 field, so it won't be too long until the leaders catch that back again. In fact, Albert Preem is coming up on the back of some of them now. Jeffrey Ross will be hoping to use this to his advantage, not just to defend on against Verdonk, but perhaps be a little bit opportunist and try and find a way to gain a lot more time back on Preem. But Preem's got a nice big buffer to use to make his way through his traffic. Morphy really close last time round to Ted Jan Bloman, but unable still to find a way past. Got a little bit of a...
really starting to settle down right now. See the different lap times. Of course, Quinton is really close to Jeffrey Ross, just waiting for him to make a mistake, waiting for him to maybe get caught up by some traffic again. We saw him lose speed. To be Quinton Verdonk squeezed there by the McLaren, but they both get away without any damage. It looks like still actually gets really close to Jeffrey Ross. This is the sectors where he's gonna want to get up close and personal with him. Can't really do much in the straight, it looks like. That's where he's losing all of the time, but then again, this is where you get that dirty air, where you really start to feel that the car doesn't really do what you want it to. And then at the same time having to battle with traffic, it's not really helping. But yeah, this is the closest battle we're having currently. When we look down, you can see in the GT3 Pro class, Yannick Garage is running away from P2, and going a bit further down, there is a little bit of a battle for P3, GT3M, and P5 as well.
Yeah, Morpy's getting extremely close every lap to trying to pass the AM leader, but not getting close enough to make the move. But right now, P2 overall lead, that's Jeffrey Ross, is trying to make his way past, and that's cost him dearly. I think we're going to see Quinton Verdonk shaping up for a move here, I would imagine, as Bloman takes a lot of curb there and nearly unsettles the car, but he doesn't. They're going round Adam Jarvis now, and Jeffrey Ross has survived that little battle, but that's brought Quinton Verdonk closer than ever now. Down the inside of the Mustang, and he's got to make his way through here, and it's loose for Ross on the outside. Verdonk is going to be through here before he gets to the straight. Now he's going to pull away and not give Ross the toe, to give Ross a chance to get back past Verdonk. Flashes his headlights. I think that's at the car in front to say, do not get in my way. Do not get in my way. I am the overall podium sitter right now, but I don't think the car in front will care, because that's Antonio Bertozzi, who's running P2 in GT3 Pro. Jeffrey Ross is really close here. He's definitely going to have a run into turn one, you would have thought. Verdonk goes defensive to the inside, pulls back to the racing line. Ross is going to go for a dive down the inside, surely. Brakes, gets unsettled. Bit of a rear lock up there, unsettles the car. Doesn't commit too much to the move after that. Had to get off the brakes and just by this time try and fight back again. All of this is allowing Albert Preem to pull 4.5, nearly 5 seconds now clear at the front of the field.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ross is going to be smashing his steering wheel. I think he's feeling that he's really unlucky with the traffic today. He's lost 2 positions because of GT3 cars, and just got a little bit to his head, didn't he? So he makes a mistake. Look, here has come to the apex. That's where he loses. We are just a little bit unprovocated over there. Really personal. Then Quinton Verdonk says thank you. Goes up into P2. Still really close. Just look at that rear end from Jeffrey. Whoops. Says, and then he's outright it's just the small mistakes that Quinton has been waiting for, and that's what Jeffrey have to do now. Just have to wait for Quinton to make a mistake, because he's now the one that's going to be having to watch his rearview mirror all of the time, saw into turn one, just how close the BMW can get.
Take a look at that one more time from Ross's point of view. We can't. No, we can't. Apologies. There we go. Snap it over stick.
2 snaps. Big one to begin with, and another one to try and save it. Well, after he saved it, sorry.
Him to cock on the traffic here. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Is he gonna make it out of the wall? Yeah. Managed to break in time. Just gets sandwiched a bit by GT3. Doesn't make it easy for himself neither, but lucky, very good handle to keep it out of the wall. Still have the car in one piece. Jeffrey was losing a little bit of time here in the infield, where the Porsche is just going to be pulling away just a little bit.
Sven Elmers is the first to dive to the pits for a non-damage pit stop, and he's going to replace some tyres. Ule, I've been looking for an opportunity to talk about this. I think this is something we're going to see running throughout the race. This is a really, really high tyre demand circuit. Look, as we go here, if we turn 13 and turn 14, you're leaning on those outside tyres so much, and it's the same around a lot of this lap. It's so high speed that you put a lot of energy into the tyres, and I think we're going to see some people taking tyres and some people maybe thinking it's not quite worth it. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to follow through the race here. We're seeing Emre Kamaldar, actually, who was passed early on when struggling a little bit compared to Carlos Pons, but Carlos Pons now really under attack from Kamaldar, and I wonder if Kamaldar's just used the tyres a little bit more sensibly, but he's going to hit the back of the GT3, and they both say pointing in the right direction. No, they don't. Are we going to see a safety car? Because they're on the straight. I think we're going to go yellow. Are we going to go yellow? No, they're both off the track. Very surprised we didn't go to a yellow there, but they got off track just in time. That was very, very bizarre. Let's try and take another look at it. It's a little bit too late.
Emma, here we get a bit too late, yeah. But Emma really wants to try and catch up to the Cadillac in front of him, but just doesn't react in time to the Mustang, and
here we go. Oh, the Mustang comes down the track, and yeah.
And of course he's allowed to take his own.
And then when he's trying to get to the pit lane, it just gets worse. So unfortunately for Emre, he didn't tow. Not sure if he made it past pit exit. There might be a really long tow. Hopefully it's a short tow. The GT3 has just got out of the car though, so that was Vitozzi. So he's now retired from the race, I believe, despite being able to drive into the pit lane. So I'm not quite sure why he's retired there. Quinton Verdonk in the pit lane here. This is big. So that's Emre Kamaldar as well, who is now up on the jack. So he's used his fast repair already. He'll be refueling, getting ready to go. Fortunately, it's around the pit stop window, so he will be, I think, one lap down, but he was already at the back of the pack, so he'll be hoping to make it up a bit. Varley's also in the pits, which you can see. This is an opportunity for Jeffrey Ross to try and go a bit quicker and do an overcut.
Yeah, if it's Vitozzi, you said that came out, that's gonna hurt him a lot, because he's P3 currently. He already had a very bad result at Suzuka, where he's got a 35 points, and now he's going to get 0. So it really is hurting his championship.
Yeah, he really won't be happy about that. He was running P2 as well.
So I hope you're going to see Vitozzi back on track. Oh,
I tell you what,
take off the track.
Jeffrey Ross a little bit slow in Sector 1, but pretty quick in Sector 2. Perhaps just didn't have a tow compared to some of the other cars as well. And he does dive for pits this time round. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Verdonk. Albert Preem's in the pit lane as well, that you can see at the top of your screen.
Yeah, you talked about tyres. I think those that are going to try and run this without tyres are going to be hurting themselves a lot, and I think those that are changing tyres but are not saving them for the second stint is also gonna be hurting themselves a lot, just because it is so demanding. You see on the track map, it's just slow corner after fast corner after medium speed corner.
Jeffrey Ross has just come off his jacks. Verdonk is coming down the straight. I believe he's already passed Ross there. He goes into turn 1. So Ross obviously shortcuts turn 1 a little bit, but Verdonk is out well in front. Let's see if we can put up the full pit stop time for you. Pit time. Pit lane time, that's what we want. There you go. So yeah, Ross 2 seconds slower than Verdonk in the pit lane there. What's caused him to lose a bit of time.
2 seconds faster than Albert Cream as well. He's lost a lot of lap time.
So some of that is, so that's full pit lane time, so that's also your time diving in and out of the box, as well as the stationary time. A lot of GT3s coming to the pit lane now, 26 minutes in, so they're going to have to do 2 stops as well. Ross really pushing it here to try and get these tyres up to temperature. And Reykjavik is out of the car and out of the race, I believe, now as well. So, chosen not to carry on. Daniel Morphy, by the way, has inherited the lead in GT3 Pro, and that's because he's not pitted yet, so he's going at least 1 more lap than the others. And remember, it's a 2-minute lap here, nearly, no, 1.5 minute lap for the GT3, so he's going to get to, well, he's most of the way around now, so he's going to get to about 27.5, 28 minutes. So I don't think he'll be able to get to the end. It'd be very impressive if he could. We'll see if he tries to go around 1 more time. I've seen Daniel do some different things for strategies before. Ted-Jan Bloemen, by the way, has stayed ahead of a lot of the pro drivers after his pit stop, and has in fact jumped quite a few of them. Daniel Morphy's in the pit lane, so the only car now ahead of Ted-Jan Bloemen is Yannick Gerards. So very, very impressive stint there from Ted-Jan Bloemen. He did a 36-second stop, and you can see the difference there compared to some of the cars ahead. They did 40-second stops, the cars in the pro field. So I don't know if Jan Bloemen didn't take tyres perhaps, and that's how he's managed to be so quick. I wonder if we can just try and take a look at what he did in the pit lane, and excuse the fact that this is going to rewind.
A lot of lap time game. Could also just be under fueling himself.
Never mind, because we don't seem to have the footage. Oh, and he's going steep there in turn 3 as we come back to live images.
Close to a 1x.
So really quick stop there. We'll see if race control, I don't know if someone is in race control is listening, if they could let us know what he did.
Yeah, seems so. It seems a bit unrealistic with 36, but maybe he didn't take tires, and then we're gonna see how he's gonna keep this going for another 32 minutes. It's also a final lap towards the end. It's not that long, but if you have 0% tire wear, then or 100% tire wear, it's gonna be quite difficult.
Yeah, in a way here, Morphy,
a bit more than 12 seconds.
In a way here, Morphy got his wish though. Ted-Jan Bloemen is no longer directly in front of him, and he has got a chance to attack Alex Ott here for that, what is now a podium position. Obviously, which for P2 now actually, and it wasn't before until that incident for Vitosi. Interestingly, Quinten Verdonk has closed that gap quite significantly. He's 7 tenths quicker than Albert Preem last lap, and he's only 1.5 seconds off the leader now.
Check these out.
Poppy,
He's gained a lot of lap time, Quinten.
Poppy having a look.
Yeah, he has. He's making his way through the traffic nicely as well. Preem.
Oh, I was here that in turn 3.
Oh, yeah, he's all over the road.
The right direction.
Not sure what just happened.
Throughout that sector there. Very lucky to keep the car in the right direction with the McLaren right behind him as he's sliding his way through turn 3. wall on the outside, so
Yeah, he lost about a second there.
he didn't hit.
So
Yeah, but that's better than losing the entire car.
just been an incident between Sven Elmers and Matteo here. Oh, no. Elmers goes off the track and is going to have an incident when he rejoins with Matteo. I think they both picked up a 4X, but it was declared a race incident by race control. So, not quite sure what happened there.
Net code, maybe.
I'm waiting for them to have contact. I've not seen anything yet. I'm just wondering if it's going to happen here. If it's not happening here, it wouldn't be connected to that incident. So, not sure what happened there.
Maybe Sven looking for a dive bomb.
Sven did get back past him though, actually. Gone down into turn 1. Around the outside.
Around the outside.
That is impressive.
Lovely racing from the two of them. And lovely move by Sven. On the outside, Quinton still alive.
10-second time penalties on Sven Elmers though. Unsafe rejoin.
Is it the upper premium we're getting here? Front shot, it's kind of a 4.
Sven Bokhoven trying to get his way past Matteo. He goes down the inside. I think there's contact there.
Big contact. Not as clean racing here as the one that Matteo had just before. Ends up with the outer going into the wall, but it does look like it has too much damage. So he keeps on going. Was it
Probably the closest he's been to an overtake all day here, with the GTP behind as well. Could mess this up for him unless he nails these few corners and plays it carefully with the hypercar. He either wants to let him through easy or not let him through at all. And he's going to go around the outside, duck back in, but that could help him here if he goes down the inside of the Mustang through turn 13. Can the BMW get a good run through turn 14? It looks like he will do here, actually. This is the best run he's going to have all day, I think. Not gaining the way you would want to be though at the moment. Looks like that BMW really struggling for top speed here. Shows his nose, but it's not enough.
too far down there for any kind of move. I thought he was going to have it with that GTP coming and disturbing the exit of the penultimate corner, but fortunately not. Theo trying to protect his P6 from Senna Bokhoven. Had an incident in the beginning, so he's going to try and make it places back, and he's going to have a better run here down to turn 1 than we just saw Daniel Murphy have. Matteo covering the inside once again with the car on his outside. How's he going to go this time around? Looks like Matteo's going to be getting out on top, but a little bit of an overrun here from the BMW. He's going to be able to make a move. I think he's going to be looking for one down in here. Tries to go down the inside, but it is a slower line.
It's going to leave him under threat from the car on the outside, as that's, I believe, Jeffrey Ross making his way through as well.
Really sketchy. I think he's really lucky there, Senna Bokhoven, with the GTP coming around and just scaring the Audi a little bit. Villarreal very, very close to Senna. To get an onboard view here. Coming up into turn 9. 3 different lines from the 3 of them. Another one. Just try and keep the car tight. Don't lose the rear end because you have a little bit of a straight here. It's going to be important if you want to make a move. Villarreal not having as good of an exit, so he's losing out.
Ignis back in the pit lane up front as well, by the way, for his final stop with 25 to go. So a bit earlier, but he did do his first stop early as well.
Senna in front, very close to Matteo Limray. Two are going to be fighting it out once again into turn 1. Just see a very good front row tickets that we are having here on board of Villarreal. Going to be able to watch this all the way down the main straight. Senna, he really wants to go up that inside, but Matteo is covering it. Matteo is really covering that inside, and Senna is he's got faster around the outside. He's gonna be side by side. It's turn 3. And that, catches the rear end of Matteo
Both
Langway.
of them there. That's Villarejo going to go round the outside. Matteo will be on the radio. That's already under investigation by race control, who were clearly watching along. And the leader was approaching while all of that was happening, but he's made his way through safely. The donks dropped off a little bit after that sort of slightly mistake that we saw, and struggled to get back on terms of him. It's cost Matteo quite dearly. He's lost out to Chris Van Rooyen as well. Through the Hansa chicane. Oh, and Quinton Verdonk so close to the back there. He's going to go down the inside of Villarejo. This could give Senna a good run. But the BMW, like we said, at least in the hands of Daniel Morphy, was struggling for that straight line speed, who again is still stuck behind Alex Ott. He will be doing a whole load of fuel save though while he's stuck there.
I was gonna say Villarejo doesn't cover the inside as much as Matteo did, so Senna is gonna try and go for a move. That was very, very close to ending up in tears again. So need a verdict on the incident.
Yannick Gerard, I believe, has just had a bit of a moment. There's a very brief yellow flag out. Let's take a look at what happened. This is your pro leader, remember? Just off into the gravel.
Ooh. Just showing him his outside tires what it's like to not be on the tarmac. Didn't affect him too much, luckily.
Morphy just needs something to go right for him here, and he'll be past Alex Ott. I would have thought. He looks like he has the pace, but right now what's probably hurting him, I would imagine, is that Ted Jan Bloemen is within a second of Alex Ott, so Ott will be getting a nice tow down to turn 1 as well.
I think Daniel Murphy needs a GTP to come through at the right moment. There's one in the background there. If he's a bit lucky, might be able to utilize that.
I believe Liam de Kock has been off again somewhere as well. Oh, just runs out of road. Keeps it going quite nicely. Can Morphy use the traffic here?
Yeah, so does it disturb it, Alex Ott, a little bit?
And Alex Ott's not happy about it at all.
No. Certainly not the way that he was expecting this to go. That's Multicars Racing for you. I think Alex Ott is gonna get a nice tow here down the main straight as well. And the Porsche.
It's not going to be this time round. I wouldn't have thought. It needs to be a bit closer than this.
Too far back. It's just fortunate. You can almost smell him. You can certainly smell his.
Look at the fuel save going on there on Daniel Morphy's car.
Oh yeah.
I would imagine he'll be flying past Alex Ott in the pit lane. It shouldn't be in too long a time. They went about 25 minutes the previous time round. Morphy did one more lap last time as well.
Huge fuel saving for Daniel Morphy. Tire saving as well at the same time. 20 minutes left. I think he's going to be out on top. I haven't really seen what Alex Ott's fuel saving strategy is like, so I can't compare it, but could very well help Daniel Murphy in the end.
Ignis has just passed Van Rooyen. Going to be in a bit of an inconspicuous place here. Nicely down the inside of Master Bocht. Oh, just cuts in front of his rival before the hypercar gets there. That could have got messy. But nicely held there.
Senna's still looking.
Oh,
Very
and
end
the
of that Audi.
leader makes his way through even more Ott battle. Tell you what, he's not hurt his teammate in the GT3 there one bit. The Don could be next to make his way through, but he's about 5 seconds off the leader now, which is, well, let's just say he'd be hoping for a little bit more than that, I think. Senna Bokhoven has just got past Carlos Villarreal as well. Let's see how that happened. Oh! Loose when he came back across the track, and Bokhoven just finds a nice little gap to slot through there.
Lovely.
From Senna. Cool. Just waiting for the mistake and capitalizing on it when he sees it. Quinton not flying up the inside here of Daniel Murphy. It's a bit more relaxed as he comes past Alex. Still wondering who that is. It Ted-Jan Blumen we have in the port?
It is Ted-Jan Blumen, yeah.
Yes. P1M just
Running P2 overall, yeah.
yeah. P2 overall.
We'll be happy with that in his home race.
Really great.
We have seen AM drivers get on the podium overall in the past, but it's
not unheard of at all, but
it's not easy. Let's say, especially in a race where we haven't had that many retirements or anything like that. It's not been a super insane race. I know we had at Long Beach 2 seasons ago a bit of a craziness where we had AMS in GT3 and GTP leading the overall race, but nothing like this, where he's just done it on pure pace, being quicker than everyone around him. Alex Ott is pretty close this time round though, actually, but not able to make a move on the Porsche. Another GTP coming through. I believe that's Jeffrey Ross, who'll be the next to approach.
As Daniel Murphy, if it's easy to pass on this track, I think he's gonna say no. I think Alex thought he's gonna have the same answer. Of course, it's two different classes, so we don't want to win each other's races. It doesn't matter who's in front and who's behind here.
Ross gets through quite easily there without impacting either of the drivers battling for position that much. He's got to be careful with the leader. Goes around the outside, makes it clear what he's doing, and is clear before it's going to have any impact on the car behind. He'll be fairly happy with that outcome, I would have imagined. Ted-Jan Blumen looking like he's struggling a little bit now, actually. I wonder if he didn't change tyres. We couldn't see that pit stop, unfortunately. I do wonder if he didn't change tyres. And that's potentially what's slowing him up here a little bit.
Still has a pit stop left. It's gonna be a two-stopper. Doesn't look like he's doing any kind of fuel saving here. The pace he's putting down. Could still go. Be at 2 chances stars. Doing great. He's running in clean air, so for him it's perfect to be where he is right now. There's not a lot of traffic around him. Of course, 2 GT3s right behind him, and then the occasional GTP. But it's what you want to be. Yeah, driving all by himself. A little bit of pressure behind to keep his motivation.
Blumen pits. That clears.
And I think if Daniel Murphy wants to have a go at it, this is going to be it. I think he's not going to have a better chance than he's going to have right now. Just him with the toe and Alex Ott with none.
So is Dave Van Veen trying to get up into what will be P2 on the road, but P3 once they cycle through the pit stops and Jan Blumen retakes the lead. And look at that, Jan Blumen only 5 seconds off the podium after making 1 pit stop more than everybody else so far in this race. Interestingly, Morpy's fallen off a little bit, quite drastically actually, in the last few seconds. Ah, that's because the GTP's made his way through. Okay, he'll be a bit upset. That's cost him so much time. Vitali is also pretty close here to Jarvis. It's sort of heated up all of a sudden, and Dave Van Veen is looking to get on that podium like we just discussed a moment ago. I believe Vitali is the closest to making an overtake, so we'll stay with that battle. We need to watch for Ott and Morpy pitting as well. Would imagine Morpy will try and have that quite short pit stop again. Yeah, we did see him doing a lot of fuel saving.
Yeah, race control, I don't know what's Matteo doing there.
Gutierrez asking what Matteo was
Yeah, what Gutierrez said there.
asking what Matteo was doing here. I'm assuming something's going to happen here.
Yeah, I thought.
He probably thinks Matteo was squeezed.
Also seemed very late.
I don't know, unless something happened in turn one before that, potentially.
Racing incident, maybe. Doesn't look like it's on this.
Yeah, they both carried on, no Borex or anything flagged up. So
15 minutes left here of the race. I think we're gonna start to see the first couple of drivers. Of course, we saw Tetjan Foreman pit just before. I think we're gonna see some others looking at that pit entry as they're gonna come past these next couple of laps. And it's gonna be deciding for the race, of course, who has done the best at fuel saving, who's done the best at preserving the tires, who's gonna change the tires and who's not gonna do it. Didn't see the pits of Tim Bowman, so interesting to see if he has changed his tires this time around. Maybe we'll see the pits up time from him. But yeah, as you mentioned, he's less than 5 seconds away from P3. He's gained a second since he came out to catch up with Dave Bain. Battling a little bit with Paolo Antinoni. So looking at this Ferrari in front of him.
yeah, he's really struggling to get past, but you can see he wants to. I wonder what Adam's doing here, because Adam tends to try and do something a little bit different with the fuel. I wonder if he's just trying to save a little bit so he can make sure he shortens that last stop quite drastically. Sven Elmas is in the pit lane now as well. I'm driver. Alvaro Gutierrez and Jeff Ross, the first GTP drivers to come in for their final pit stop, and they're followed by Eloy Caballero and Juanto. No, sorry, not by anyone else yet. No tyres this time around for these drivers. We'll see if anybody else takes them. Only 10 minutes ago, so if you think you can hang on to your car, it's definitely worth staying out, not changing the tyres and trying to hang on. Oh, and that's Liam de Kock trying to make his way through traffic on his march back towards the front.
Bit of a sent down to turn one from him. Of course, he also has some time to game. Liam de Kock. PA now with Emma leaving the track, but
Tejan Bowman has gained
down.
2 seconds on the cars in front, so he's looking to get his way back onto the podium before the pit cycle is done. Quinton Verdonk is in the pit lane, but he was about 9 seconds clear of Jeffrey Ross, who was starting to claw back a bit of that time, but I'd be mighty impressed if Jeffrey Ross is able to get back ahead of him. He might be able to do something a little bit clever and gain back a lot of the time. Depends how long that stop is for Quinton Verdonk, who's already back going. And Jeffrey Ross is still coming through the final corner, so Verdonk, sorry, will be well clear out front.
you can see even more cars now starting to into the pit lane, so we're certainly within the window to stop here. 10 minutes from the checkered flag. Albert Preem leading comfortably. Yet to pit, I believe, 37 to Quinton Verdonk. So 44 second stop for the GT3s. I don't quite remember what it is for the GTPs, but it's gonna be a bit tighter than he probably wanted it to be. To see here a replay with Carlos Ponce into turn one.
Going past Eloy.
Don't
Oh,
know.
Matteo and... Yeah, Matteo Batali and Adam Jarvis have had contact in turn 1. Oh, and Adam Jarvis really struggling to get it turned
Really bad
around.
position to have spun around.
You don't want to tow from there, though. Senna Bockhoven has crashed as well. Let's take a look at that. Poor Wheat. I think this might be on his own, so it won't take us as long. And then... Oh, no. I can hear it. Oh, no. He's just on Logan Sargent. Okay. Let's take a look at this incident for Adam Jarvis and Matteo Batali, who are really, really close fighting here. This is Batali trying to make his way past Jarvis. Jarvis defending on the inside as Albert Preen dives to pit lane behind him, but that doesn't affect this battle right now. And oh no, that's really hard to tell from that angle. Who is to blame for that one? Let's take one more look at it from a different angle here for Matteo Batali. Hoping this camera is going to show us from the inside of turn 1. Oh, and Jarvis just understeered a little bit.
A little bit, and then Matteo Batali, he calculates with Jarvis keeping it really tight, and then unfortunately they make contact. I think it's a racing incident from the look that we have.
Morphy stays out as Ott pits. So Morphy clearly having the fuel save to go a lot longer, and I think that's no surprise to anybody who was listening to that on board there.
I mean, mate, what is that?
This is Dave Van Veen. I've seen Chris Van Ruin. I'm not sure why he's on the radio about it. Perhaps about the GTP. Let's see what happens. He's passed.
We'll manage traffic, but I'll also be a bit impressed that.
I think this might be what he's on about. Let's see what happens here. No.
No.
Because I believe the radio message was about now. Nope, not seeing anything. Unless something happens on pit entry. Nope. Interesting. Okay, Yannick Gerards is in the pit lane. Daniel Morphy still yet to pit. I think we'll see him dive this time round, I would have thought. Play it safe, no point going longer than he needs to, apart from the fact he's on low fuel and can maybe go a bit quicker. But what he needs to make sure he does is beat Alex Ott out of the pit lane. But no, Morphy goes again with that lighter fuel load. And that does promote Morphy to the lead as they run, but I'd be extremely doubtful if he can get to the end from here. He did pit, I think, about 28 minutes in. I'd be mighty impressed if he was able to do that extra 4 minutes that it would be either way to do it on one stop.
He's done a lot of fuel saving. We saw that earlier when he was battling Alex Todd, but is it enough? I think it's one of the easier tracks to fuel save on this because it is so tight and twisty. It's not a lot of long straights where you're just burning the fuel.
It's a black flag for
he
Matteo
is
when he
really,
left the
really
pits.
good. It is possible. Matteo P9 currently.
Yeah, like I say, it is possible, but he would have needed to be doing an awful lot of fuel saving. But maybe he was. We saw some really big saves, so...
He was, and he was sitting there at times with the two slipstreams being behind both Alex Todd and Cheshan Bloman. And it wouldn't be the first time that we are impressed by someone fuel saving.
There's some big lifts here.
Not I.
There are some big lifts.
But he kind of... it's difficult to say when I don't see how much he's losing, but he's... into the pits, but it's gonna be a splash and dash here with 5 minutes left. And he's gonna come out in front of Alex Todd. It's gonna be very difficult to get Yannick Gerards right now. I just wanted to make a quick Shout out back to a race that we had at Red Bull Ring. I've forgotten who made that pick.
I think it was Adam Jarvis.
Was it Adam Jarvis? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. No, you're thinking of an even earlier race, aren't you? Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
Season 5 or something like that.
So
Insane
Daniel
fuel
Morphy
saving.
out ahead of Alex Ott.
Yeah, but a pretty reasonable gap as well. 1.2 seconds. So he has a little bit of time here to also get his tires up to 10, but he can't afford to do any kind of fuel saving now. I don't think he's going to be doing any kind of fuel saving as Ignis goes into turn 1.
And inside of Adam
Almost
Jarvis and a
something
GTP's decided now's the time to join the battle, and that's not going to end well. Race control will be all over that. Ignis was turning, he's going to rejoin, and it's okay.
Yeah. Very late dive bomb on Adam Jarvis from Ignis, but look relatively clean, and then we get the replay here. The first incident, Ignis.
They do touch a little bit there.
Slight contact, yeah, but Robin is racing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then a GTP that wants to get past him. Question if it's Ignis turns so into him. Corner is turning at that point, so it's of course difficult to go straight.
So what, it's not over between Ott and Morphy.
No, certainly not. I mean, Alexander out within a second, but we've seen how difficult it is to get past anybody here on this track. There's not a lot of time left for Alex to do it. It's about 3 laps left for him. Not losing out a little bit here on turn 3, gaining it back again.
Oh, well, he's going to go deep into turn 1 with a big lockup. He loses a position as well. Or perhaps not.
TLM refreshing his lights there in the background, but wouldn't really call that unsafe. Anyway, back to replay with Matteo Lem way out of turn 3.
Ooh.
Touches the grass on the outside and loses the gear, and then corrects it a little bit. This is one of the few times where you don't want to be touching grass as a gamer.
Alex Ott, he was a little bit closer a couple of laps ago, yeah.
He's definitely out of the slipstream. Of Daniel Murphy. I think Daniel Murphy, he's saved his fuel, but he's also saved his tires, and I think that's what's playing in a little bit right now. Difficult to say if I think it's gonna have to be tire wear. Can be quite crucial here in the later stages. 1.5 gaining a lot of lap time here, Daniel Murphy on the straight.
I would have thought that Morphy would have been a little bit slower on the straight as well, because he was struggling to get past even with that toe. Expecting Alex Ott to cruise up to the back of him, but
yeah, but remember how much fuel saving he's been doing as well. Of course, not been gaining on the straights neither. No. But he's really got to be scratching his helmet right now, Daniel Murphy. No, Alex Ott, sorry, not Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, so the leader's just taken a white flag, I believe, to start the final lap of the race. Albert Preem, who's been pretty quick all season, but it's not quite gone the right way for him. Leading with 1 lap to go at his home race. Knock on wood. Don't wish him any commentator curse, but very impressive drive from him today, starting down in P3, I believe, and overtook into turn 1 on Liam de Kock, and then Albert Preem taking the lead from Jeffrey Ross a couple of laps later, using the traffic nicely to his advantage. Still got traffic to contend with though. Never easy around a tight track like Zandvoort.
No, we aren't done yet. There's still 4 corners left for Albert Preem to lose his car and try not to. That's a huge gap, so there's nothing to hurry up. Makes it safe. Passes McLaren onto my corner. Left here. Curve on the outside, down low. This is just flat out. Doesn't hit the wall on the outside. Perfect. A little bit of a swerve just to celebrate that he has won. Third round of the Interstall Racing IMSA Series.
The gap came down towards the end, worth pointing out to Quinton, but I think Albert was probably just playing it safe.
Yeah, I saw how much he was lifting for the GT3s. He knew that he just had to bring this up, and that's what he's done. Perfect start from Albert Cream, just keeps it really well driven by Albert.
So Tejan Bloman will win in the AM class. He's not crossed the line yet, but he's so far ahead of the rest of the field that everybody else took the checkered flag because they've been lapped under the time by the leader.
George, don't jinx it.
Yeah, we have seen that before. I can't remember what happened. We saw the leader in a previous event cross the do one more lap than everybody else, and they ran out of fuel because they didn't think they would do an extra lap compared to everyone else. So,
yeah.
But I think Tejan Bloman will have been smart enough to take a bit of extra fuel with that kind of margin to the rest of the field.
Can lift it home from this distance. Tejan Bloman, phenomenal race.
Yeah, Yannick Gerards wins in GT3 as well. GT3 Pro, Daniel Moore PP2, Alex Ott in P3. So we have a Dutch winner in GTP, GT3 Pro, and I believe that Tejan Bloman is also from the Netherlands. Yes, he is. It's right on the screen. So it's a triple win for the home drivers. Well, it says Netherlands under his name, but then he's got
I believe I saw a Canadian
flag, so not quite sure why that is.
Try and double check that one.
Say Netherlands. Oh, it's saying Netherlands for everyone. Really helpful. So I correct myself. Tejan Bloman is a Canadian driver. And let's drag.
There's Canadian on his iRacing profile as well, so I would assume that he'd be a bit. I don't know. I wouldn't be too mad if somebody called me Dutch, seeing that they're putting out these kind of performances.
Okay, let's bring Albert Preem down to the booth for a little chat, and we'll ask him about how that race went from his perspective. Albert, congratulations. Starting, I think, P3 in the end and making that crucial pass in traffic to win your home race. How was that from your side?
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed of the qualification because on all the hosted sessions I was really fast, but I couldn't connect it on qualify, and that is mostly due to nerves and things like that. But P3, I take it. Yeah, Jeffrey was very fast in the beginning. I think, whoa, those BMWs are really good on Zandvoort. But he went left. I went right. The first round of GT3s, and indeed that was the crucial overtake. And from that point on, I could grow my how do you call it? The gap grows further away. And so at the end, I could manage my tires a little bit more, a little bit slower, not so much risk on overtaking the GT3s, and that results in a P1 again. So I'm very happy and delighted.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Really, really well done, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here again.
Okay, joined by Tejan Bloman and Yannick Gerards as well. We'll go to you first, Yannick. Congratulations, winning GT3 Pro. It looked like you kind of led the race and not much else happened, but I'm sure there were some events from your side. Is there anything that you'd like to point out?
Yeah, thank you very much, man. I just was cautious with my tires and easy on my fuel, and I just kept the pace around 34.5. So I gained like 1 second, 1 second, a half second a lap. So yeah, it was quite easy. in front. Just managing.
A huge difference, a huge gap down to P2. Not much to think about when you look in your rearview mirrors, but of course there's some GTP traffic. How was the multi-class traffic here at Zandvoort today?
It was doable, but sometimes you had to be very cautious what line you choose and just lift early because they come in very quick. So I was very cautious with it because I don't want to lose my my lead.
Yeah,
No.
it's definitely interesting. It's pretty narrow at most places as well. So yeah, very interesting to watch the
So
traffic
drivers a
throughout the
bit more
race.
unfortunate than you.
Yeah.
Well, huge congrats, and then final winner today, Tedjan Blomen. Once again, insane gap down to P2 in the GTP M class. How was your race? Not a lot of racing in your own class, but racing against P2 and P3 in the GTP Pro at some point. How's that?
Yeah, it was a really uneventful race for me. In qualifying, I have no idea where I got this pace from, but I was suddenly in the mix with the pros, and in the race, same thing. I just followed them. I wasn't really trying to race them or anything, but I just stayed in the pack for the first bit, and then did a little bit my own strategy. So I was just doing my own thing a little bit. It was a bit of a lonely race.
How much strategy does go into your racing when you're 20 seconds ahead?
Yeah, it didn't really matter, but it offset me a little bit with the other pro drivers that were around me. So I was in the second stint. I had a clear track in front of me.
Not really much more to it, is there?
Yeah, how was the GTP traffic from your side?
Yeah, I think it was very manageable. Yeah, I was. Yeah, of course, I had a pretty uneventful race, so I had a lot of space in my mind to think about it and to watch for them. So yeah, it was very good. But yeah, I saw a lot of incidents in the top of my screen going on, but I didn't see any of it.
Okay, well, congratulations to all three of you. Well done on a great race, and we'll see you again next week, I believe. I think we're back for 2 in a row, and we are going to... no, sorry, I'm incorrect. There's a break week for our drivers to participate in the Petit Le Mans if they wish next weekend, and then we're back for a triple header at Watkins Glen, Hockenheim, and Fuji Speedway. So we'll see all of our drivers then. Ule, what was your standout moment at the race? I know it was pretty much a strategy race for a lot of it, but what was the standout moment?
Yeah, I'm still recalling that the overtake from Albert Preem in turn 3 against Jeffrey Ross, I believe it was. I think it really stood out to me, and then some crashes as well. They always stand out in their own way.
Yeah, it was a very, very good race to watch. So thanks for everybody that joined us. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time.